How's it going? Welcome to the channel. I thought today I would do a little bit of a Spectrum Next 2024 in review. Lots of things came out in 2024, so I just wanted to go over everything that was released and the future of the Spectrum Next and what we're hoping to see in 2025 this year. We had quite a few physical game releases in 24. The awesome TX1696 shoot 'em up. We also had Head Over Heels, Rusty Pixels. Black and White, awesome little platform game. We also saw Xeno Brigade Extinction. Magnum Clean Shot. So had the awesome and free Dougie Doo. Also got a physical release. We had Webster and the Spiderbots, which was also a free game on itch.io, and that also got a physical release. We had the excellent Captain Squarejaw. And we saw Saboteur 2. And also a release of the excellent Night Night game. So we also had over the year a special edition big box version of Head Over Heels, and also a big box version of Warhawk, both games from Rusty Pixels. So what else came out last year? Well, we had a brand new website startup called Technoshedsoftware, which I happen to be part of with Richard Faulkner. And on that website we are publishing not just Spectrum Next Games, but we hope to publish various other retro wares. But so far on there we've got TX1696, Xeno Brigade Extinction, but Dougie Doo physical copies, and Webson Spider Bots physical copies. We've also got the TX1696 record by Richard Faulkner, which is the soundtrack to TX1696. There's also a remix CD that I did myself using the Amiga, and it's in pure mod format. Wrote on the Amiga 500 and 1200, and that's available also on the site. So doing some shameless plugging for our website, Technoshedsoftware. We have on there digital and physical versions of Xeno Brigade, digital download of the remix soundtrack, which has had a special mix applied to it by Richard Faulkner himself. Also got his vinyl, and the TX game is also on there, and Webson Spider Bots and Dougie Doo limited edition physical copies. As soon as they've gone, that's it. No more of those will be available. We've also been sending out Captain Squarejaw to help Wasp out. You can also get the physical CD of the soundtrack to TX called Taurus Xavier, and that's pure Amiga mod, as well as a digital copy also of the original TX1696 soundtrack by Richard Faulkner. So if you after any of these physical editions or digital copies, head over to technoshedsoftware.com, browse, and if there's anything on there that you fancy buying, then go ahead, all appreciated. From physical game releases on the Spectrum Next, we also saw a demo, and people who remember the demo scene on the Amiga, and there's also demo scenes on the Spectrum and Commodore 64 alike, and big Atari one also. Retro Beachman and Paul Hesso gave us a World AY Series Spectrum Next demo with some awesome music on there, some great covers, and you can check that out here. So, other Spectrum Next news, we've had constant updates for Cspect, the Spectrum Next emulator by Mike Daly. So this is the Cspect page for Mike Daly on his itch.io section. On here, this is the link where you can download the latest version of Cspect, which is currently version 3010. Choose to try out some of the old visions, they're all on there also. We had a few Kickstarter updates over 2024. Yeah, so we had various news over 2024 regarding the Spectrum Next official news, and we ended with a QL core being worked on, which has now been released, and possibly other cores coming, including the Amiga, which is interesting. We finally had a latest firmware released. So the latest distro is 24.11, and that's Next ZX OS version 2.09. This includes menu edit to edit Next ZX OS menus, Warhawk, this is a brand new demo, BBC Basic stroke Next version 0.16, .asm.command to embedded assembly code in Next Basic programs. So core versions 3.02.01, which is for the issue 4, and 3.02.00 for issue 2. We've now got multi-core support for the Kickstarter 2 or KS2 version of the Spectrum Next via provisional firmware version 1.44 dB, and official additional core for issue 2 and issue 4, which is the Sinclair QL. So here's the package that you need to look at for your latest Spectrum Next distro. And if you were a fan of the Sinclair QL, it's definitely worth looking at and upgrading your machine. So another great thing that happened to the Spectrum Next scene was a brand new magazine for the Spectrum Next. And this is brought to us by Chris Wilkins of Fusion Books. And it's sort of like a sister magazine, if you like, from the original Crash magazine. But this is just dedicated for the Spectrum Next and compatible systems, Engo and Xberry. And we had issue 1 in April, and that gave us reviews of Head Over Heels, Bean Brothers, Celeste, Battle Tanks, Crater Crawler, and there was some articles in there regarding connecting to the internet, and there was some basic programming articles in there, and we also saw TJ's Corner, who's a YouTuber who you may know, and here's TJ's YouTube channel. I thought I'd give him a shout out because he's a lovely guy and makes some great content for the retro community and Spectrum Next community, so go check him out and give him a sub. Who covers not just the Spectrum Next but various other systems, so he's got himself a nice little section in there. And then June gave us issue 2 of the Spectrum Next mag, and we had reviews of TX1696, QB, Magazine Space the Detour, Night, Tank War Next, Train Yard Express, and Tiny Peter. We also saw an article in there from Adrian Sinclair regarding the Next controllers. He also gave my channel a bit of a plug, what's next, and a little video I did on the controllers, so that was pretty cool. We're going to be looking at joysticks and joypads that you can connect to your Spectrum Next. We've got a pair option there which we can hold. There was also some articles in there regarding making music and sound effects using software on the Spectrum Next. And again, we had some basic programming techniques in there also. August gave us issue 3 of the Spectrum Next magazine, and we saw reviews of Aliens Neoplasma, Warhawk, Magnum Clear Shot, Saboteur Deep Cover, The Lost Temples, Starman, and Frogger Jr. We also had Adrian Sinclair's new section called The Feed, covering what's going on in the Next community. And we also had articles for making music using Next Door, which is a fantastic piece of music software specifically designed for the Specy Next. And we had the regular basic programming article. Q4 was in October, and we had reviews of Tyverian, Star Warrior, Dungeonette, City Hit, and Speed. Also in there again, we had music on using the Next Door software. We had Adrian Sinclair, the feed, some more coding, and an article by David Sphere regarding external keyboard upgrades. Issue 5 was the last issue that we saw in December, and we had reviews of Black and White, Captain Squarejaw, and Xenobrigade Extinction. And again, we had articles regarding the Xberry Pi, Adrian Sinclair's The Feed, some programming articles, and Simon Goodwin also releases his brand new book. So saw a book based Boreal Basic. So if you want additional information regarding the Specy Next, you can't go wrong with signing up for the official Spectrum Next magazine by Fusion Retro Books. Also, we hear about Michael Flashware's Warhawk getting a Steam PC release, and you can see that here. Christmas, we also had a demo of Fusion's new game, still yet to come out, called O. Whether that's going to be the final name of the title, not sure. That is a new game that is coming out in 2025. Also had a new magazine called Pixel, which we have had a few Spectrum Next reviews in there, like Head Over Heels and TX 1696. So yeah, excellent magazine. That's available at the following website. We've also had quite a few events where members of the Spectrum Next team have been there, and we had Technoshed and Cavern Games. So we've had revival events. Cavern Games did Bikers and Magnum Clean Shot, and Tengu was also working on some brand new games for 2025. So please head over to Cavern Games website, which is cavern.games, and you can get yourself the Magnum Clean Shot physical edition. And also on there you can get Bikers and Tengu. And at the moment it looks as though there's still a few physical editions left of Tengu and digital versions of Bikers and Tengu, and a digital version and physical edition of Magnum Clean Shot. So pay visit. We also had Retcon, where Technoshed and myself showed off TX 1696. Welcome to BAPSTARCADE, and today I'm going to be talking about at the end of the year we had Crash Live in November, which was a real good big Spectrum event where we had plenty of tables for Technoshed selling all our wares. We were also selling copies of Wasp's new games, as well as our own stuff, TX and Xeno Brigade 2, Dougie Doo and Webster. Also Clive Townsend Saboteur 2 was also selling that on the table as well. And we had plenty of machines on there, and there's a few highlights of the event here. So how about the future for the Spectrum Next? Well, 2025. We're going to see some brand new games from Technoshedsoftware. We're also going to see some games from Cavern Software. We asked the question, will there be a Kickstarter 3 in 2025? If so, what's it going to be like? Are there going to be different colours available? Is the spec going to change? Or is it basically just going to be exactly the same but with a different box? Hopefully a different colour banding. We've already had blue and red. So does that mean we've got green and yellow to go? And are we going to get different games on the back of the box? Who knows? These are questions that need asking. I don't know if you remember a game called Meteor X that was demoed a few years back. Some footage here. Will that come out this year? Who knows? Crash 2025 dates have been announced, and you can catch all the latest news here. Also at Crash we saw the new drop zone, which was running in a arcade cabinet. Are we going to be seeing that on the Spectrum Next this year? Looking forward to that one. Is a couple of images for that. And as I say, will we see the new game from Fusion Games? Oh, so if you head over to Kickstarter, there's a game yet to come out, Herb X Warriors, and you can click the notify me on launch if you're interested in that new game. It's by Tony Warrener and graphics by Stu Cambridge. It's also coming out for the PC, so you can see that here. That's it. So lots happened in 2024. Physical copies, lots of free stuff on itch.io, and plenty of things happening in the Spectrum Next scene, including compatible hardware like the Engo and Xberry Pi. So for those who don't know, here is the fantastic Engo board that you can buy from Manu Ferrer. And also worth looking at is the Xberry Pi, which you can see here. Currently on pre-order, but for £98.88 you literally get yourself a Spectrum Next AS1 board, and you've got HDMI, VGA, you've got audio in and out, there's a battery slot for the clock, you've got 2 megabytes of onboard RAM, PS2 connector, 1 joystick port, and it's powered by a micro USB. Highly recommend that you buy a adapter with a switch for that, because they're not the strongest connectors. And you've also got your headers there for I0 to accelerate, and header for Wi-Fi. So everything you need is within this little package, which comes with a case. You can get that from zxrenew.co.uk. You can also use Cspect on the PC, and I think there's a Linux and Mac version of the emulator, so you can still play Spectrum Next titles if you don't have the hardware. I do recommend the Engo and the Xberry Pi though, great little machines. If you're holding out for a genuine Spectrum Next, do go on eBay. Maybe a little bit over the odds, to be honest, but if you get yourself joined up to some of the groups, there's always people who are getting rid of their Kickstarter 1s or Kickstarter 2s to pass on to people who want to use them and appreciate them. We've had the successful Spectrum Next magazine, which I highly recommend you subscribe to, and I'll put all the links and everything in the description to all the various software titles, magazines, Kickstarters. The lot will go in there. So that's it, and don't forget, on a Tuesday is a Twitch show run by myself, so What's Next, and I'll be sharing all the latest news, games, magazines, videos, the lot, including some legacy Spectrum stuff on there as well. And I like to present it as a full show, so we have quite a laugh on there. The chat joins in with various things. A good bunch of people on there, so please check that out. Again, if you don't mind subbing to my various channels, BAPSTARCADE on YouTube, What's Next 1 to 8 on YouTube, and if you're into podcasts, retro gaming, I have a channel on there called A Good Old Natterwith. And then obviously my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/BAPSTARCADE. Catch you guys later. Ta-ra!